Cool, welcome back everyone. I'm playing my fourth round of the Motor League. This time I think I'm playing against a mid-range pod deck. I'm playing against Dom. He played this in the first two rounds. It looks like a fairly standard pod deck, except instead of Omnath, he's playing Kess, which is probably the most notable difference. Otherwise it looks pretty standard to the pod deck that's been quite popular recently. I played Black-Red against Isaac's build of the deck for a couple of matches the other night, and it seemed like we were definitely in with a shot, but eventually they end up with too many powerful mid-range creatures that just go over the top of you. As long as they draw the half of their deck that is the Thought Seizers and the counter magic that you can go under, then you look pretty good. If they start slamming, powerful creatures like Leobold into questing beast with maybe a scavenging ooze to gain some life, it becomes pretty hard to get around that. So we'll see what happens. Pop this over here and challenge. Awesome. So I think the other major consideration is Ren and 6. With the amount of 1 toughness idiots we're playing, that card is not quite insurmountable, but very difficult to beat. Alright, I'm back. My webcam was briefly not working. Sure, I guess we can keep this. We're going to take a lot of damage out of Sarcomancy, I suspect, but you got a Skull Clamp and a Searing Blaze. They have an elf. Sarcomancy is just such a bad card. I can't believe it's in the deck. But, I mean, you don't really have a choice. I hope this doesn't get mental misstepped. The hand gets a lot worse if this gets misstepped. Skull Clamp and Reckless Abandon don't do a lot without a bad creature to put them on. Alright. So we're off to the races. Our hand's quite good if they kept like a land light Manador Kang, so we can Searing Blaze something. And then the next turn, Clamp, Equip, Attack. Elves of Deep Shadow, yep. Geralf's Messenger. Let's just attack and see what happens. I think there's no chance my opponent blocks, obviously. But yeah, we can give them the opportunity. Oh, whoops, pay black, Searing Blaze, this thing, and this thing. So that's pretty good. We got a free Lightning Bolt out of our removal spell. And hopefully that saves us from something like an Oko on turn 2. Overgrown Tomb? So taking 2 damage. Baleful Strix. That one's pretty good. Okay, so I think... So there's Clamp and Attack, which is 3 damage or give us 2 cards, but there's also Clamp and Reckless Abandon, which forces through 4 damage and gets us 2 cards, but we still have a sort of Baleful Strix sitting there, I think. Now we've got this, we'll have something to Reckless Abandon away. I'd like to get Clamp into play whilst my opponent's tapped out. In and get it equipped to something and force a little bit of action. I don't love the idea that like they might trade and then we don't have something to throw, but I mean, them's the breaks. I think if we turn this thing into a divination, that's fine. If they take 3, that's even better. Yeah, good. My opponent's not taking 3. They made the right play. Blackcleave Cliffs Spike Jester. So I'm gonna play Tarn and fetch up. No, I'm play Blackcleave Cliffs. Because otherwise it's not untapped next turn. So this is looking okay. Jester's another 2 cards. Messenger's 6 damage and 2 cards. Alright, they're fetching. Let's see what they got. So right now the main thing I think that gets them out of this is some sort of life gain effect. Like, Oko make a food? Yeah. Create a food token. So the thing I'm thinking about is whether or not I'm going to spike Jester and then fling it at the Oko. I don't think so. I think just forcing through damage is probably better because I have so much burn in my hand. Yeah, so... This is 3 damage, so I'll be playing this next turn. So there's... Jester plus Artist puts my opponent at 6. And then I have 6 points of burn in hand. So even if they gain 4 life, they're probably just dead next turn. There's the Messenger and Clamp at play, which I'm not a fan of. They're going to try and steal my Skull Clamp, presume? Oh no, they can't steal Skull Clamp yet. I think if my opponent spends next turn sacrificing their food, we have enough damage here to force through lethal. So I don't think we need to worry about the Oko. And even if they make this into a 3-3, again, we've got enough burn that we can get ourselves out of that hole, especially with the Spawn of Mayhem that they'll have to elk. So I think I'm just going to do the Spike just a 5-late Artist plan. The only other plan is like Geralf's Messenger, put Skull Clamp on it and wait, but then it just gets Oko'd and what's the point? Like Messenger fling it at their face is 6 damage, but I think I want to hold that for next turn to close out a game they think they've stabilized. So we'll add Black-Red for Spike Jester. And we'll add Black-Red for Fireblade Artist, and we'll go with the face. I never quite trust the attack all button. I always feel like it's going to screw me over somehow. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I think their most likely line is like try to maybe elk the 5-late Artist to save 2 points of damage and play a couple of creatures to stabilize, or chump block, in which case we can go over the top and burn them out, or to gain 2 life with a food they make off Oko. And then, I mean, they can make this into a 3-3 and play a creature, but that just seems a little anemic against my hand. And board, I'm not sure what 4-drop they could play that really gets them out of this. Like, Kess doesn't do much. Questing Beast doesn't do much. Like, Glorybringer, if they had... okay. They just confiscated my 5-late artist. That's fine. And they have Josephine's Prodigy. Yep. So they're not in a great spot. Especially because they have to chump block with this thing. If they have like... if they had Petty Theft, they would have played differently. So we get rid of the Jace. They have Drown in the Lock, actual counterspell, evasive action, and remands. So this is not promising. I think playing a spell that I don't care about is the best place to be, which is probably Scrap Heap Scrounger. And then I can clamp this depending on what they do. The other line is clamp this, hope to draw a land, so I can keep making land drops and threaten to do multiple things in a turn. But I think playing Messenger is just... playing Messenger plays right into their plan of countering a spell and using all their mana. Like maybe it's Spawn of Mayhem, because they would definitely counter it to use their mana up. Yeah, I kind of like Scrounger, and if they counter it, I can clamp Spike Jester and try and return it from the graveyard if I draw a land. And I can save this for after I've gotten a counterspell out of them. Well, that changes things. I think I'm just clamping Spike Jester. It's fuel for Scrap Heap Scrounger. And if I draw a land, I can even return this if they kill it. Ooh, Wasteland. Wheel of Misfortune. Whoo, we're going to have some fun next turn. I think I just Wasteland my opponent here, to be honest. Take them off double black, double green, off red. They have Lightning Bolt. They have Bone Crusher Giant and Lightning Bolt. Yeah, take them off red. They will probably not sacrifice their 5-blade artist. Also, I have a food token, which is kind of cool. I can gain some life if I need to. So I need to read how this card works. So I'm not casting it next turn. I'm still on the Messenger plus a band. Ugh. Rendon 6. Each player didn't choose the lowest number of discards. Sure. So my opponent is probably not going to be bidding a whole lot of life points to this thing. Yep, more cards. Excellent. This is a good draw step because I can pay the mana for it next turn and have it all come off on one turn. Ooh, I like this. The other thing I'm thinking about is whether I just need to cast this and trade for the counterspell that's probably there. And there's a small chance it's not there, but I think that based on how they played, it's quite likely there's something. And I trade for this, and then next turn I'm clear to just try and burn them out. Especially because they've drawn Lightning Skelemental, which is a pretty gross card to end the game with. So the other option is like suspend Rift Bolts, hit them with Fire Bolts, return Scrap Heap Scrounger. Yeah, I'm down for that actually. Forces them to spend mana gaining life with food at some point. Means if I draw a land, I've got Flashback Firebolt to threaten more damage. Cool. I probably should have tapped this for red. That would have been smart. I don't think I'll be gaining 2 life off my food. They're going to eat theirs, go to 6. But then next turn I get a free lightning bolt to the face. Yep, another food, so they're at 9 if they don't want to cast a spell. Returning Volcanic Island, yep. Alright, so my left is getting a little precarious, so I'm going to stop playing around Counterspell. Black, red? Oh, they're just gaining the life now. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense before they take damage. How do I... Come on. I just want to cast it. That's a good draw. So if they attacked with this, they have to have a removal spell. But if they have a removal spell, I can get them. Unless it's Lightning Bolt plus like Drown in the Lock. Interesting. If they have 2 counter spells, I'm dead. But if they have 2 counter spells, I mean, it is what it is. Mental Misstep. That's definitely a counterspell, all right? That kind of makes me think I should lightning strike them in their upkeep. So the counterspell has to be used then. And then They'll be at 5 life, and I can try and Skelemental them. I take 5 damage. Yep, counterspell. Create a food. This has been an interesting game. Yeah, them having planeswalkers that I ignored certainly let them back into it. I don't know if that was wrong for me to ignore them, but I'd have to watch the game again. But certainly the ability to keep getting activations out of them whilst leaving up counterspell was a thing that gave them a shot. Man, having Mental Misstep and counterspell there was also necessary. So the card I was worried about was Glorybringer. Food, yep. They're going to attack. If they have another counterspell. Yeah, if they're attacking, it feels a bit like another counterspell. Should just always yield to that. I don't think there's a better line than just yamming Skelemental at this point. This doesn't hit Planeswalkers, right? Yeah. Eminent Domain, Remand. Right. So they know I have Skelemental. Time Walk. That's not good. I'm dead. Targeting me. They figured it out. I'm just going to concede. Sarcomancy would also have killed me. Anyway, I think Deathmark could come in. I think, yeah, the card I'm worried about is like Scavenging Ooze. I think we can cut Necro. I want some Blood Moon effects. I kind of like the Planeswalkers. Fair cards. Maybe down for Searing Blood and Angrath's Rampage. Maybe that's a lot of cards. So Sarcomancy's gone. Carnifage, Sarcomancy. I'm down with most of the rest of the one drops. Reckless Abandon, I think, can go. Bloodgust, Mentor, Incinerate, Kari Zev. Yeah, it's hard to block. They have a lot of dorks. Roboscock, Fireblade Artist, Spike Jester. Just wondering, this is maybe not a wheel matchup. No, I think wheel's fine here. So we'll take Deathmark, Blood Moon, Magoose, Vortex. Prox is probably better than like Orcish Hellraiser. Searing Blood. Searing Blood only does 3 damage if it dies? I think it's still okay. I think we can probably cut Diagraph Ghoul as well. And don't have access to the Planeswalkers, which is a little bit of a shame. I probably should find a way to get them in. It's a lot of 3-drops. This is really a 1-drop. We just don't keep landlight hands, I guess. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I should have killed the Oko when I had the chance, but I felt like I was just... I'll keep this. I felt like I was just very close to killing my opponent. They did end up gaining a large amount of life from its food. So we will eat some brains. No 1-drop? No, this looks like I have a 1-drop. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have left the Oko alive. Like, it did come down to a turn where they had to have Counterspell plus Mental Misstep. How much do I care about killing an elf? They didn't get a blue source, so they've definitely got multiple blue sources in hand. I'm somewhat inclined to just play Fireblade Artist here. Because it's 4 damage. And if I kill this, it's 2 damage. Like, Fireblade Artist is a little bit of a build your own combo with Bloodghast. I want to get that into play as quickly as possible. So if I play this, they go to 15. Ooh, that's a good draw. I think I want to play Bloodghast here. But I'll do it post-combat. Because they happen to have, like, a counterspell that they've left in. I'd like them to have to hit Bloodghast with it, and then I can bring it back when I draw a land. Like, this could be evasive action or drown. No, it can't be drown in the lock. Lightning bolt. Yep. That seems fair. All right. They got a basic. They figured out the price of progress trap. Blue, blue, green, Oko. It's always Oko. Yeah, in this game I have substantially less pressure on board to deal with Oko as well. So we may well be on the price of progress to win train. Ugh. Like, attacking this thing is just like a bad strategy, right? I attack it, it goes to 2 loyalty. Then it goes to 3 loyalty, and they've got a 3/3 blocker. Yeah, would have liked to draw a land here to play champion plus artist. So I could put my opponent to 10 and then have 7 damage in burn spells. And they'll probably gain 6 life off food tokens over the next 3 turns. So I've got to find some more damage from somewhere, but I don't think I'm getting better than that. Like, maybe I'm meant to hit this once. They can't steal a creature, but yeah, I guess that's probably the way it is. So next turn, I think if I don't draw a land, I'm in a fairly bad spot. So I want to get like this into play, or this plus this. Yep, they're going to make an elk. Or like sack this, bring it back with a land, etc, etc. I mean, I'm definitely sacking this and throwing it at their face. Blue Elemental Blast. Alright, I guess I'm not. Blue, black, green. 10. Birthing Pod. Ah, I see. That's a little bit of an opening. Because that's not a lot of life. Zergo Bell Striker. So I wonder what they're planning to pod for. Don't think they're playing any... They're presumably not playing any amazing pod targets that sort of gain them ridiculous amounts of life, but they can do the whole, you know, like play a 3-drop, play a land, pod it into a 4-drop, which might be like a questing beast, but that isn't particularly remarkable from a life game perspective. So playing Zergo and Blood-Soaked Champion means next turn I can probably get 2 damage in, because I'll probably have a second creature in play. And maybe a third, so it's maybe 0 damage. Whereas if I dash Zergo this turn, you know, they definitely are going to 8. And then even if they go back up to 11, this is sort of kind of getting close, but I do really need to draw the 3rd and the 4th lands. I think 10's maybe still a little too high to just force through 2 damage and throw away a creature for. So we will play the idiots. They've only got 1 card, so it's got to be a good creature to pot away. Which it probably is if they sacrifice 2 life to play Birthing Pod. Oh yeah, make a food. No attacks. Okay. So their card in hand was not a creature. Swamp. Alright. Look, if it's a removal spell, I'm perfectly happy to trade removal spell here. Especially because like none of these things are blocking ever. Power 3 or less. So it can take my Ferocidon, but that's fine. Okay, so my opponent goes to 6. Price of Progress, if it resolves at any point, is lethal. They've got 1 card in hand. Ugh. I actually honestly think they probably cut counterspells against me. And bring in the Blast instead, because they double as removal spells. But I don't see a reason to just yam the Price of Progress here. I think in their end step, we can Lightning Strike and see what happens. Like, they're going to go to 9 life. And then I guess I have to Price of Progress in response. Yeah. So they're making a food with Oko this time. So maybe it is just in their upkeep, Price of Progress them. And if they have it, they have it. Hydroblast, yep. Once upon a time. I'd like to draw a red source. Because that turns on my best draw steps in like Vortex. Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, that's pretty good. They can't cast it this turn, but it means they're going to be at 5 life. Create a food token. I don't know, 4 life, because they gain 3, they gain 3, take 3, so they cancel out. Eating the food now, yep. Strip Mine, huh? Well, that's hitting Volcanic Island. Yeah, I don't really care if they steal this. It means their food supply is turned off. I was making sure it wasn't opponents can't gain life, but it's just players. Deathrat Shaman. That was good. So they take 2 from this, go to 4. So Lightning Strike puts them to 1, which is a bit of a problem. I guess they could block Deathrat Shaman onto Bloodghast, but that seems unlikely. Curse the second swamp. Yeah, Deathrat's gotta die. So this gives us a turn where Bloodghast can attack and put them to 8. And if I draw a red source, I can Searing Blood something. And I get to bring back Bloodsoaked Champion as well when I attack. Scrap Heap Scrounger. So they're at 8. They're going to gain some life. Yeah, this is not looking good. Oh, they're not going to gain life? They want to make a 3/3. Okay. That means their hand must have permission or a removal spell in it. Okay. So we potentially have a small window here. Because if we... Spawn of Mayhem. Huh. I mean, neither of these are ever blocking, so I guess we're sending. And then Spawn of Mayhem becomes castable, but I don't think that's going to work out. So they're at 6. I'm just wondering, like, there's no better line of, like, Return Bloodsoaked Champion. Yeah, not having the 4th land to, like, Scrounger plus Champion or Searing Blood this away is a little frustrating. And maybe I should have been more cautious on the price of progress. But if they just Lightning Strike, I don't think they would have burned their Blue Blast. I think I'm just playing this because I can't play it any other turn. And let's hope their permission was like some conditional counterspell or similar. No, they've used both their Blue Blasts. Or they've got like a evasive action. Yeah, okay. No, I will not be paying for it. Yeah, so like we saw that coming, and like playing Scrounger is a consideration there because you can get it back. But like we're so choked on mana that play Scrounger just because we can get it back is a bit whatever. You know, we can get back Bloodsoaked Champion as well. Oh no, they've unlocked their Bone Crusher Giant. This is Eat the Food, yeah. So the correct play is actually to shock this and not let it attack. Because otherwise I can rebuy the Bloodsoaked Champion if I need to. So we'll see if my opponent does that. They don't. Okay. So this is kind of interesting now. Because this plus this just... If they don't shock this, yeah. That works, right? This rebuys this. Searing Blood kills that. And suddenly I'm in like a reasonable position. I mean, yeah. Would you like to pay 2 life? Yes, I would. Oh, I guess. Hold on. I get my Bloodghast back. I'm just wondering if I play this, they'll obviously shock this in preference to the Bloodghast. Or I just return the Bloodsoaked Champion, because it's much easier to get the Bloodsoaked Champion back. Either way, they're going to have a blocker because they can shock something, play this, make a food, eat the food. They'll be at 5. And then they can pot into... I don't think their 4-drops matter. I think the extra point of damage is quite possibly a thing that matters. And I think I'll be able to chump attack with a creature next turn. So this kills the Scrounger. This goes on an adventure. This game, I was definitely correct to not try and pressure Oko. I think that would have given them too much life to work with. So, if they turn this into a Kess, they can lightning bolt this, which is... Oh, no, they've tapped their red source, of course. Ah, Liliana of the Veil. I'm kind of down for Liliana of the Veil. Like, the other option is attack with this, it gets eaten, I bring back 2 threats, they go to 8 life. Yeah, definitely not a fan of that. Because then next turn, like, I can attack with 3 things, I draw a land, but I'm not doing a whole lot with them. And this turns off their birthing pod, which I'm a very big fan of. Oh, let's not attack Oko. We can remove some irrelevant loyalty counters from him. This is 2 mana, right? Yeah. All right, let's see what we got. Did they draw well? Looks like they drew well if they're tapping multiple lands. And they're specifically tapping certain colors of mana? Maybe that means, like, they've got counterspell, they want to leave 2 blue up? Oh, Leovold for bug? Oh. They cycled Zagoth Triome. That's obviously why they were thinking about what colors of mana to use. So they'll make a food, eat a food, be it 6, be it 4. So I have quite a few draw steps that are pretty reasonable. Lily's going to snag the last card in their hand, so unless it's a counterspell, it's gone. If it's a counterspell, it just trades for whatever I draw. Dark Confidant. Alrighty. Hold on. They can take it, but they don't want a Dark Confidant in play for them. So they could elk it, but then sure, it's still a 3/3. I should have attacked first. And I think I should have activated Lily's ability knowing that they already knew about the Bob. But whatever, that was some poor sequencing. Wood of Foothills, yep. We will get back the Scrap Heap Scrounger in their end step, I think is much safer. So they're going to go to 4. I've got 4 power in play. Yeah, Ponder. A blocker doesn't do it because Lily is Edict at this point. And I can get back Scrounger in their end step. So this Ponder needs to be fairly good. I did not think we were going to win this game. I guess they drew slightly below expectation from here on. Like there's a lot of blank stuff there. And we were bottlenecked on mana, so when we drew the 4th land, we had a lot of things to do. But this game was quite good. I will probably talk a little less next game. If we get to next game, because I only have 13 minutes on the clock. Oh, you were gaming. Oh, okay. Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Yeah, that one's not doing it. My opponents can pot it into like Witness, but I don't know what Witness gets back. Right? Like there's nothing here that sort of is insane for Witness to get back. It's possible they're just potting to see what's in their library in case they've missed something. Like, actually, if they have a Spellseeker, I don't think their deck will be playing Spellseeker, but Spellseeker for Time Walk. Ooh, okay. Cool. Spellseeker it is. Time Walk, yeah, now they go to redraw. They're pretty good. Time Walk, yep. And then they pod the Spellseeker into Kess and recast the Time Walk, so they get to gain a huge amount of life and have a Kess in play. Yeah, they're not even trying to attack and fake me into taking a little counter off Liliana. This has gone poorly. I guess if you play Time Walk in your deck, you want to put Spellseeker in there. They're attacking Lily. I mean, I kind of have to let her go and force them to use their cast from the graveyard on something that... Like once this has happened, Lily's not doing much anymore. Gain 3 life, yep. Gain 3 more life next turn, go to 7. They're probably going to bolt the Bob. And if I force them to do that with their turn, I'm pretty okay with that. And this thing blocks like everything I have in my deck. Oh, stomp it. Yeah, sure, same thing. Oh, no, okay, not the same thing. That's fantastic. Because it goes to... The adventure is the exile zone, so this doesn't replace it. Yeah. That's a nice synergy. I know they're potting away, presumably their food token. Unless they got like Titania and they want to just kill me. Oh, the elf. Yeah. Ooze. Yeah. This is rapidly deteriorating. Possible I shouldn't have F2'd through the pot activation. I should have figured out they were getting Scavenging Ooze. So I wonder what the draw has to be here. Well, it's not Arid Mesa. I am pretty confident of that. And yeah, like this game's just over. They're at 11 life and yeah, they're at 11 life and this is going to gain them infinite life. That's a shame. I enjoyed that game. That was an excellent sweat. Yeah, I'd have to watch the... maybe there was a chance to do something differently with the Price of Progress. But otherwise, this deck was great. It was surprisingly resilient in the face of Uro on turn 3 both games. Yeah, there was nothing left in my deck that was getting me out from that situation. And I'd like to go have something to eat. But I'll try and stream the rest of my rounds, so if you do get a chance to watch them, that'd be cool. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy playing Highlander and Moto, and hopefully there'll be some more people posting their matches soon.